Hello and welcome to Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and today we'll be unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards that I sent to Professional Sports Authority over 18 months ago, and I just got them back. They ship them to you in these nice little boxes, securely packaged so they don't get damaged in the shipping. Let me get them out of the box and we'll check out what grades I got, okay? The card in the spotlight is a 2000 Pokemon game base to Nidoking, a Holo, the number 11 card. Looking at the front surface of this card, I like the holo of this card. It looks really good in the light. Our centering looks really good within spec from top to bottom and side to side. Our edges and our corners, I don't see any damage. As we inspect the back of this card, you can see that from the original look, it looks really good. The surface looks great. The graphics are clean. Our centering looks really good from top to bottom and side to side. I think they're within spec. As we start looking at our edges and our corners, you can see there's a slight bit of damage on the upper edge, just left to center, and on the lower left corner. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. That's pretty good for this Nidoking. Let's take a look at a 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Venomoth, the number 31 card. This one looks really good. You can see all the graphics, all the writing, everything is clear. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it looks within spec, but looking at it from right to left, it looks towards the left, and I think that will take us out of the gym Mint 10 arena. As we take a look at the back, you look at this card from a first glance, it looks really good. There's no problems with the centering. From top to bottom or side to side, it looks really good. Our graphics look really crisp and clean. Looking at our corners and our edges, there's a very slight damage to the lower left corner. And that's going to give us a grade for Venomoth of mint 9. I like it. That's pretty good. You're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Game Base to Ninetales, the Holo, and number 13 card. As you can see, it looks really good on the front surface. The centering, I think, is within spec from top to bottom and side to side. Looking at our corners or our edges, I don't see any issues there. I think it's pretty clean. As we flip this card over and look at the back of the card, you can see that the surface looks really clean. There's no problems, no damage. Looking at our centering, the centering looks really nice. Pretty good for the back of the cards. I don't see any problems there. Our edges look clean. Looking at our corners, there's some specks of damage on the both left corners. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. I like a mint 9 for a holo. Wow. The card is a 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Arcanine, the number 33 card. Looking at the front surface of this card, I don't see any damage, no staining, nothing to affect the grade. Our centering looks really good on the front of this card. I think it's great, well within tolerance. Our edges and our corners show no damage. Turning to the back of the card, you can see that there's that the centering looks really good from top to bottom and side to side. I think it's within spec. Our surface looks really clean. Looking at it, I think there's some damage to both lower corners, very slight. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. I like it. That's pretty good. Let's dive into looking at a 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Poliwrath, a holo, the number 15 card. The front of this card looks really clean and nice. The holo looks great. Our centering looks really good within spec from top to bottom and right to left. Our edges and our corners, I don't see any problems that I can find. As I flip this card over and look at the back, it looks great. I love that there's no damage to the surface. Our centering looks really good. I know it's within specs. Looking at our edges and our corners, I had to look close, but there is some damage, very, very slight, just some specks on both right corners. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. That's pretty good for that card. I want to show you this 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Charmeleon, the number 35 card. Looking at Charmeleon here, the surface of this card looks pretty good. I don't see any damage or anything like that. Looking at our edges and our corners, they look really good. Looking at our centering, it looks pretty good from top to bottom. I think that's within spec, but looking at our left to right, it's pretty far to the left. I think that's going to take us out of the spec for a Gym 10. Onto the back of the card, you can see that it looks pretty good. Looking at our centering, it is off to the right to match what's on the front. Our edges and our corners, there's some slight damage to the lower corners. And with that centering being off, that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. Not too bad. I'll take it. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Scyther, a Holo, the number 17 card. I always like the concept of this character. Looking at the front surface and the Holo of this card, I don't see any damage. I don't see no scratches on the Holo. Looking at our centering, it looks really good. I think it's within spec on all four sides. Our edges and our corners, I don't find any damage. As we look at the back of the card, it looks really clean. I like the centering. It looks within spec on all four sides. I don't see any damage to the graphics. Looking at our corners and our edges, they look really clean. I was really excited about this, but I finally noticed there is some slight damage down that right side. And we're going to get a grade of near mint 8. Wow, that wasn't that bad, I thought, on the back. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Dodrio, the number 37 card. Looking at the front of this card, I don't see any damage to the surface. Our centering, I think, is within tolerance from top to bottom and left to right. And looking at our corners and our edges, I don't see any issues that will affect our grade. Flipping the card over to the back, you can see that it looks really good. I'm pretty excited about this card. Our centering looks good from top to bottom and right to left, all within tolerance. Our surface looks good. Looking at our edges and our corners, I can find a little slight damage to the upper right and lower right corners, and maybe a little more on the left, but not very much. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. That should have been better than that. That should have been a 9. I disagree with that grade. Let's go ahead and look at a 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Wigglytuff, a Holo, the number 19 card. Looking at this card, it looks really good at first glance. The centering looks good from top to bottom and left to right. I think it's within tolerance. Our edges and our corners look really clean. At first glance, the Holo looks really good, but as you start really looking at it closely, there are some minor abrasions and scratches. Looking at the back of the card, the back of this card looks really great. The centering looks pretty awesome. I definitely know that's within spec. Our surface has no damage, no scratches or anything to affect it there. Looking at our corners, our lower left corner has some very slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. That's pretty good. Like I said, on a Holo, that's pretty good. Let me show you this 2000 Pokemon Game Base 2 Executor, a number 39 card. As we take a look at this card, it looks really good. Our graphics and the services card look awesome. As we look at our centering, I think it's within spec from top to bottom and left to right. As we look at our corners and our edges, if you look at that upper right corner, there's on the top of the corner, there's a piece of the edge is being pushed towards the camera. Looking at the back of the card, I don't see any problems with this at all. This back looks really clean. There's no problems with the surface. Looking at our centering, I think it looks great from top to bottom and side to side. I think it's well within specs. Looking at our edges and our corners, they look really clean. There might be some specks on both lower corners. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 7. I was wondering about that with that edge being bent out on the front. Well, I hope you liked the video and the cards that were displayed. Please subscribe and like, and watch as many videos or shorts as you can. And remember, always remember, you got to catch them all.